Aquilar Strategic Services is a niche strategic HR consulting firm founded in 2017 that focuses on four key areas: learning and development, organization design and development, leadership enhancement, as well as culture building. A co-winner of 2 national awards from NHRD and REI, partnered with our key MNC client, our services have one key differentiator. All our methodology in training is rooted in delivering business impact while at the same time incorporating cognitive psychology into every intervention. Our client and co-applicant of this award is none other than Tata Motors Passenger Vehicles Private Limited TMPVL, which is part of the $128 billion Tata Group, founded by Jamsetji Tata in 1868, and the passenger vehicles division of Tata Motors Limited, one of the world's leading manufacturers of automobiles with over 1,100 plus showrooms across India, across 100 plus cities. TMPVL is also the manufacturer of multiple award-winning cars such as Altroz, Nexon, Harrier, Safari, Tigor, and Punch, to name a few. This video shall showcase our certification program, that is Leadership in Training, or L.I.T, at Tata Motors Passenger Vehicles Private Limited, where we shall see the transformative journey of the regional training managers of TMPVL across the areas of knowledge, skill, and cognitive intelligence, from a functional trainer to a performance coach. Before we discuss the nuances of our intervention leadership in training with our esteemed client Tata Motors, let us quickly look at the program's impact. The target audience for L.I.T program included 40 regional training managers across 450 plus dealerships. If you look critically at leadership in training, it impacts at a Kirkpatrick level 4, the KRAs of the trainers, especially in the areas of trainer productivity, trainer coverage, trainer utilization, learner feedback, and on-the-job training. L.I.T as an intervention was quite impactful and had some significant investments from both the client as well as from Aquilar, and this resulted in some heavyweight results. The overall trainer productivity went up by a whopping 215% from 18,242 hours of training in August 2022 versus 57,512 hours in March 2023. The average trainer utilization increased by 27%. The trainer coverage within territory had an increase of 90% and 80% of flagship and extension outlets covered. The average learner feedback went up to 4.4 out of 5 for the fourth quarter of the year 2023. There was a remarkable shift by the trainers themselves to take up on-the-job training, and that went up by over 137%. We also had some remarkable improvements on the qualitative front, post the L.I.T session conducted in September 2022. The regional training managers started performing very detailed TNA or training need analyses for their dealerships. They also took on a lot of ownership on quality and monitoring of all their training, and as part of this, they also made a very conscious effort to shift to on-the-job training, which was a necessity for the better performance of the dealerships. So, how was this possible? Let us hear this from our founder on the design and delivery philosophy on L.I.T.
When we partnered with Tata Motors, our objective was very clear. We had to create a certification powerful enough to result in a Kirkpatrick Level 4 impact on their KRAs, and this had to be done mainly during the 6-day certification. The design philosophy of this certification can be captured in one word: thorough. It had 3 roots: intention, knowledge, and skill. Intention is an interesting concept because it inherently connects with energy and creativity. Take, for example, a trainer whose intention is to impress. The energy directly moves towards being self-conscious, worrying about reactions, and ultimately shifting the locus of control outwards. However, if the intention is to add value, the energy directly moves towards being caring, observing participant reactions, and honestly keeping the past center to help within oneself, thereby shifting the locus of control inside. Ultimately, trainers who have an internal LOC tend to be calmer, more observant, composed, caring, and successful. And these aspects are experientially delivered to trainers through the L.I.T program. Let us look at the next design element: Knowledge. Knowledge can be captured in one sentence. How do I make my session impactful to the business and the audience? Once the trainer starts thinking this way, they automatically lean towards studying the business and incorporating the right connects into each and every session they conduct for that dealership. So, we incorporated experiential and fun elements on sales metrics, individual KRAs, and industry trends, and got the regional training managers to research and come up with compelling reasons for frontline staff to apply what they teach them. This resulted in the same training content being dynamically customized in 40 different ways by the 40 trainers to suit the current issues of a dealership in their territory. And of course, the last element was skill, a key differentiator between a good trainer and a great one. Skill clearly brings out the confidence, poise, and impact, that too in a seemingly effortless manner. Skill for us is tied to personality strengths. Every trainer is different, and there is no stereotype of a great trainer. We all get there, but in our own way. And this piece had to be incorporated into skill building during our certification. So we started with the premise of focusing on strengths and enhancing it with one important action: preparation. We also took them through the learner needs, learners being visual, auditory, and kinesthetic, and how to plan all of these elements into a session. There were checklists given, discussions conducted around the material and venue planning, training tools, activity planning, and even time management. However, the beauty of this was that the master trainer who delivered this ensured that the trainers understood that the way to use these tools was to complement and enhance their personality. And the application sessions ensured that they practiced this understanding. To sum up, the design and delivery philosophy of L.I.T, it really worked on one belief: confidence drives performance. When you instill in a human being the confidence that they have what it takes to succeed, while at the same time helping them realize their own areas of improvement. Mind you, not tell them, but make them self-realize. What comes out of this entire intervention is a rich motivation and drive to succeed. And then they become these superheroes who do whatever it takes. And that is exactly what we aim to create every time.
Let us go ahead and listen to Reena, a regional training manager at Tata Motors.
Hello and welcome to our Mangaluru dealership. I was just about to get into an on-the-job training for our latest tech module. And this one is going to be exciting because I have crafted a superb game and quiz in Kannada for these staff. I started off as a trainer with Tata Motors Passenger Vehicles Limited almost 5 years back. Back then, we would train directly from content given to us, sometimes just from brochures, and with the kind of business we were handling, the emphasis was only on tech and product training. Of course, it was always tough for me because I had to train the non-tech dealership staff on technical aspects, and many a time, I used to see them tune off during my session. But what could I do? I was helpless as the content was standard. And then in 2020, COVID hit us, and the first thing that took off after COVID was the passenger car sales. Wow, I've never seen so many customers visit our dealerships asking for fast delivery. And how knowledgeable were they? I was shocked. We had this lady actually listing out engine specs and showing YouTube videos comparing her Altros with competition. I pitied the sales staff, as they too were scared of her and were silent. But as the pressure increased on the dealership staff, my business stakeholders started expecting my training sessions to address that. Imagine, I had trained the same way for the last 4 years, and come COVID, I'm expected to deliver miracles. The content was the same marketing presentations, but the ask was that training needs to be impactful, whatever that meant. Honestly, the pressure was high, and as I was training the way I knew best, I started seeing the importance for training deep. Nominations were affected, my stakeholders were not as happy, and it was then that I received an email from the corporate L&D team that a trainer certification called Leadership in Training was being planned and that we could expect to receive some calls to understand us and our situation as a context to craft our certification content. And I did receive a call from this company called Aquilar, and I discussed all my challenges openly. Little did I know that they were recording everything and that all of this would be addressed during the session. So, when September 2022 actually came, I felt that I already knew training as I was quite old in the system, So what would they teach me that I already did not know? But I was wrong. We had a 6-day intensive certification, and I was blown away on the first day itself. I never expected an external trainer to know dealership metrics, or even mention them, but they did, and we were introduced to Kirkpatrick's method of training impact. I never thought training was this important. This was quite scary, yet at the same time quite exciting. We spoke about stakeholder issues, mapped them, and I then realized why I succeeded with some, and struggled with other stakeholders. I understood why a training need analysis was important, and the need for me to cover more dealerships, as what I trained directly impacted the way the dealership staff interacted with customers. And then we had a live application session at the end of day 1. And then came day 2, and honestly, I never expected what I got. It was a psychological session, where I learned so much about myself, and how I was impacting my own confidence. I realized how my intention to add value to my dealerships actually helped me transform into a performance coach, with much better levels of influence without authority. Day 3 took creativity to a new level. It was super exciting, with so many trainer tools and energy generation being discussed. We also understood learner types using the VAK model. And finally, we also learned how to prepare for a facilitation session before, during, and after the training. Come day 4, and it was our certification. The certification was done by an external trainer, who was an experienced international master trainer themselves. It was a grueling 3 days, and we emerged with newfound skills of creativity and contextualization, applying all skills learned through the 3 days of our certification. After this eye-opening certification, we found a lot of change in ourselves, especially on the ownership front. And we started interacting more proactively with our stakeholders. We made a deliberate effort to standardize templates of training measurement across India, and also integrated business context into every training we conducted. Let us hear what my colleagues have to say, shall we?
Here are a couple of participant testimonials.
A regional training manager from East with more than 15 plus years of experience as an automobile sales trainer says, "L.I.T helped me think differently in terms of business metrics. I started understanding my audience and the expectations of my stakeholders in a much better way. It helped me to increase my session participant counts and supported with better training man hours within my region. My man hours went up by 41.4% in Q4 compared to Q3 of last financial year. L.I.T supported me as an RTM to use easy metrics, quiz performer dashboard, TSM wise percent score dashboard, post-induction evaluations, RTM audit on customer experiences, etc. That left my stakeholders very delighted. Here are my stakeholder endorsements. A regional training manager from the South, with more than 13 years of experience as an automobile trainer says,
Post the L.I.T program, I have started interacting with the stakeholders for planning the training calendars. I am able to interact with my dealership team with more confidence, thus helping me conduct more training sessions. My training hours have improved compared to the previous years. We as a team have started updating the regional team on a weekly basis on what is being done in the respective dealership. I have been receiving positive comments from dealer principals, and every dealer has now been able to have productive manpower.
Let us now hear from our project sponsor, Head of Customer Excellence, Tata Motors Passenger Vehicles Limited, Miss Archana Daniel.
In my role as Head of Customer Excellence, I oversee channel partner manpower process and training. So, when we looked at the heritage of training at TMPVL, we had two key areas that we thought that required our focus: credibility and efficiency. In the auto industry, historically, training has been linked solely to product and tech training. And with the dynamic market for passenger cars and the millennial customer of today who is super aware and tech sound, there is so much that depends depends on the quality of their experience when they are at our showrooms. And who determines that quality? Our dealership frontline staff. And who decides the quality of knowledge and behavior of the frontline staff? The training function as a whole, driven by our trainers. I see it, but did my business stakeholders see it that way? Not exactly. And why? Because, like the rest of the OEMs, training was seen as a necessity for technical upskilling of the sales staff. However, not many associated training as a tool to address the end-to-end customer experience purely because our trainers were more hands-off in their training, keeping it online in classrooms rather than at the showroom addressing real-time situations and queries. Hence, we ourselves as a team needed a lot of rework to get them to see the role of training the way I saw it. Now, to my trainers. All had strong auto training experience. However, they were content experts, but not performance coaches. You see, a performance coach to me is someone who not just builds capability, but also ensures that they build behavioral competencies that the trainee requires. For this, the trainee should be able to apply the acquired theoretical knowledge and practice it in a safe environment while being coached to hone their selling skills and have conviction in the product. And this is what I wanted my trainers to be able to achieve. So we embarked on this 14-month journey with Aquilar, and the first thing we did was to design a course that certifies the training faculty at TMPVL and sets an internal benchmark. L.I.T was a perfect solution for us as it addressed our needs. It had all the right strategic approaches to build a world-class team of trainers. The very fact that L.I.T program was not just a regular train the trainer program, but was a holistic approach of certifying trainers and upskilling them as facilitators that impact business was something that we were really excited about. Thus began our journey with Aquilar to customize it further, and the team added value in the diagnostic stage. They helped us isolate the gaps and the intervention that would bridge those gaps. There had to be a business connect in all trainings that were delivered. Hence, ensuring that all training content was aligned with business matrices was prime. This was the first step. The trainers had to become consultants, do a perfect training need analysis, and then sculpt existing content to meet it. So their business acumen became integral to the design of L.I.T. There had to be a strong mindset change in terms of intention, where they moved away from trying to teach product knowledge at the dealership to make a difference to the dealership business. This was a win-win if you ask me. The trainers were now shifting gears from being product experts to performance coaches, which brings me to the third area, my trainers' training skills. This meant they needed upskilling in facilitation as an art as well, and this was addressed in our design. We took them through Kirkpatrick's metrics to help them understand what they had to achieve in each session. We designed some really cool cognitive psychology into the design to make them understand themselves, their inhibitions and strengths better, and in reality address all of that while preparing for their certification. I have worked for over 2 decades in the L&D space and have not seen this kind of creative and intelligent merger of business and psychology as I see in Aquilar's design. And honestly, it worked for us. My trainers literally went through a very rigorous 6 days with L.I.T. It was quite exciting when I saw their feedback and scoring of the certification program. Most of my trainers came with 10 to 12 years of auto training experience, and to see their acceptance of this program and the value they perceived was definitely a huge win for me. The score across 40 of them was a 4.7 out of 5, and it translated into their working style. I see them more focused, more creative, and most importantly, more accountable for their time and quality of delivery. Their matrices speak for them. We today showcase a dashboard that has an unbelievable 215% average spike in productivity when it came to training man-hours, and an overwhelming 137% shift to on-the-job trainings, and the average learner score across regions is 4.4 on 5. The trainers have understood the importance of business impact and stakeholder value perception better. This has also opened their minds mindset to move away from conventional training practices and get innovative in the OJTs that they were delivering. The impact of such trainings directly reflect on the business matrices and the customer's sales journey with us. The learners are now exposed to a new level of learning and applying knowledge, and that is the game changer in our customers' experience. I was pleased to see the impact testimonials given by my trainers as well on L.I.T, where many of them experienced an improvement in credibility with their business stakeholders and today stand tall in their regions. L.I.T was probably the best decision and definitely one that has turned around our team of trainers into a strong set of performance coaches and clear business enablers.
We hope this video was useful in understanding the design, delivery and impact of the Leadership in Training certification administered to the regional training managers of Tata Motors. Thank you.